Pulse crop production here in the Northern Plains has simply exploded here in recent years as traditional wheat and barley growers have learned this once thought of cover crop is also a very lucrative cash crop. This year, the Montana Department of Agriculture hosted Pulse Day in Great Falls, which brought together growers along with industry and university extension professionals. Tim McGreevy is the CEO of the U.S. Dry Pea and Lentil Council and says it's a very exciting time for the pulse industry.
Lentils have just exploded in pricing wise. There's been a huge shortage worldwide. Growers are ranging between 35 and 45 cents for their lentils. It's really huge. So from agronomic point of view, these are a sustainable crop. They don't require large amounts, if any, of nitrogen fertilizer, so the costs to plant them are low. And so far, the cash returns have been high because demand across the world is really high for vegetable protein.
During Pulse Day, one name was mentioned over and over again as the one guy who really introduced pulse crops to Montana. Perry Miller, a Montana State University professor of land resources and environmental sciences.
Yeah, no, pulse crops have been a focus in my research for a long time. I have worked with a long list of alternative crops, and pretty early on we saw how well the pulses complemented wheat production. I guess that's what really got me excited about working with them. It was more at that systems level, crop rotation with wheat.
Vince Mattson is a farmer from Chester, Montana, and he and his family have been raising pulse crops now for about 10 years, and he explains their decision to introduce pulses like green peas.
Part of it was a new market, diversification in our farming practices, and another factor also was chemical rotation as well.
Columbia Grain has played a very important part in growing this region's pulse crop industry by helping farmers get their valuable commodity to those important market destinations.
Yeah, Columbia Grain Company has definitely been a leader in handling pulses and educating our growers to what our customers and their customers are requiring as far as pulses go.
Grant ZERBE is a grower from Fraser, Montana, and he's also the co-chair of the Montana Pulse Advisory Committee.
Well, the Montana Pulse Advisory Committee is made up of growers who take the assessment dollars that the producer has a checkoff amount of 1% on the pulse crops they sell. And the Pulse Advisory Committee, we look at the needs and where we need to spend those dollars for the best use of our producers for their crops that they're growing.
And we should also mention that Montana is now the #1 pulse producing state in the entire nation. Reporting for the Northern Ag Network, I'm Russell NEMETZ.